Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Your future is being decided before 9 a.m., not by your boss, not by the economy, by what you do every single day when nobody is watching. Success is not dramatic. It is not loud. Success is quiet, disciplined, repetitive, and ruthless about habits. Today, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to wake you up. Because professionals don't live on talent. They live on daily standards. If you want a professional life that commands respect, income, and influence, these are the 6 non-negotiable daily habits. Most people don't realize this, but the first moments of your day are the most honest moments of your life. Before the noise, before the opinions, before the pressure, there is a small window where it's just you and your choices. And what you do in that window tells the truth about where your life is going. Professionals don't wake up accidentally. They don't stumble into their mornings half alive, half aware, already behind. They wake up with intention because they understand something most people ignore: the way you start your day programs the way you live your life. When you wake up and immediately hand your attention to the world, your phone, the news, social media, other people's emergencies, you are silently telling yourself that your purpose can wait, that your goals are optional, that your future is negotiable. Professionals refuse to send that message to themselves. They wake up and take ownership of the day before anyone else gets a vote. There is power in deciding who you are before the world tries to label you. The world is loud, demanding, impatient. It will tell you what matters, who you should be, and how fast you should move. If you wake up unprepared, you will spend the rest of the day reacting instead of leading. Professionals wake up and remind themselves of their standards. They revisit their vision. They rehearse their discipline. Not because they're unsure, but because greatness requires reinforcement. Confidence is not something you wait to feel, it's something you practice. When you wake up with intention, you are telling your mind, I'm in charge today. That single decision changes how you walk, how you speak, how you respond to pressure. You stop chasing the day, and the day starts responding to you. Intentional mornings are not about perfection, they're about direction. You don't need a flawless routine or a dramatic ritual. What you need is clarity. Professionals wake up knowing what matters most and refusing to let distractions decide for them. They don't ask, how do I feel? They ask, what is required of me today? Feelings are unreliable in the early hours. Purpose is not. When you wake up with intention, you anchor yourself to something bigger than comfort. You understand that motivation comes and goes, but discipline shows up on time. Every intentional morning is a quiet promise to yourself that you will not drift. And when you stop drifting, your life gains momentum. There is a deep psychological shift that happens when you control your mornings. You begin to trust yourself. You start to believe your own word. That's something money can't buy and talent can't replace. Most people break promises to themselves before the day even starts. Hit snooze, skip the plan, delay the goal. Professionals do the opposite. They keep small promises early, and those small wins stack into unshakable confidence. When you wake up with intention, you are building self-respect, and self-respect changes how you tolerate excuses, distractions, and low standards. You stop negotiating with weakness because you've already proven to yourself that you can lead your own life. Waking up with intention also sharpens your emotional control. The day will test you. There will be delays, criticism, pressure, and unexpected obstacles. If you begin your day already overwhelmed, every challenge feels personal. But when you start grounded and deliberate, you respond instead of react. Professionals don't waste energy on panic. They conserve it for performance. They understand that emotional discipline is a competitive advantage. When you choose your mindset early, you're not at the mercy of circumstances. You move through the day with composure, clarity, and confidence because you already decided who you were going to be before anything went wrong. Over time, intentional mornings reshape your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes things work out and start seeing yourself as someone who makes things happen. That shift is subtle, but it's transformational. You no longer wait for permission, perfect conditions, or external validation. You wake up and step into responsibility. And responsibility is heavy, but it's also powerful. Professionals don't avoid that weight, they carry it with pride. Because they know that every intentional morning is a vote for the future they are building. Not someday, not eventually. Today. So understand this clearly. If you want to change your life, don't start with the crowd, the noise, or the chaos. Start with the moment you open your eyes. Wake up like your future depends on it, because it does. When you own your morning, you own your direction. When you own your direction, you stop hoping for success and start living like it's inevitable. Most people underestimate the body because they think success is purely mental. They believe discipline lives only in the mind, that ambition is enough, that hunger alone will carry them. That belief is expensive. Your body is not just a vehicle, it is the delivery system for everything you want to become. Every idea, every decision, every ounce of confidence you project has to travel through your physical state first. When your body is weak, tired, neglected, or abused, your standards drop without you even noticing. You start settling for less focus, less patience, less excellence. Professionals understand this early. You cannot demand elite performance from a body you refuse to respect. Energy is not luck, energy is built, and those who build it daily operate on a level most people never reach. When you take care of your body, you are not being indulgent, you are being strategic. Physical discipline sharpens mental discipline. Movement clears emotional clutter. Strength creates presence. Professionals move their bodies every day not because they feel like it, but because they know exactly what happens when they don't. Fatigue leads to hesitation. Hesitation leads to missed opportunities. Missed opportunities quietly rewrite your future. Exercise is not about aesthetics, it's about command. The way you carry yourself into a room, the way you hold eye contact, the way you speak under pressure, those things are influenced by how strong, oxygenated, and alert your system is. A trained body sends a signal to the mind, we are capable, we are prepared, we can handle more. There is also a deeper truth most people avoid. Neglecting your body is often a form of self-disrespect disguised as busyness. Saying you don't have time to move, stretch, fuel yourself properly, or rest intelligently. Why is rarely about time, it's about priority. Professionals don't wait for life to slow down before they take care of themselves. They know it never will. They train in the middle of responsibility, not after it, because they understand that the demands of life increase, not decrease. If you don't build physical resilience now, pressure will expose you later. The body keeps score. You can ignore it temporarily, but eventually it collects payment with interest. Daily movement is also about emotional regulation. Stress lives in the body before it shows up in behavior. When pressure builds and has nowhere to go, it leaks out as irritability, doubt, impatience, and poor decisions. Professionals release stress deliberately. They sweat it out, they breathe it out, they move it out. This is not accidental, it's disciplined. A body that moves daily processes emotion efficiently. It doesn't hold on to frustration, it doesn't carry yesterday into today. That is why disciplined professionals recover faster from setbacks. They don't spiral because their nervous system is trained to reset. Physical discipline creates emotional stability, and emotional stability creates consistency. Fuel matters just as much as movement. You cannot run a high-level life on low-level inputs. What you consume becomes what you can tolerate. Poor nutrition dulls focus, shortens patience, and lowers resilience. Professionals eat with intention because they understand that clarity is fragile. One bad habit repeated daily doesn't just affect the body, it affects judgment. And judgment is everything. The difference between a good decision and a costly one often comes down to mental sharpness in a critical moment. Professionals don't gamble with that. They respect the connection between fuel and focus, between hydration and discipline, between rest and leadership. This is not obsession, it's awareness. Oh no. Ring the Body also teaches you something powerful about identity. When you show up for your body every day, especially on days you don't feel like it, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who keeps commitments. That belief bleeds into every area of life. You stop quitting early, you stop negotiating with discomfort, you stop needing external motivation. The discipline you practice physically becomes the discipline you rely on professionally. Over time, your body becomes proof of your standards. Not perfection, consistency. And consistency is what the world trusts. People may doubt your words, but they respect your habits. So remember this, your body is not separate from your ambition. It is its foundation. Treat it like an afterthought and your potential will always feel just out of reach. Honor it daily and you gain access to higher energy, sharper focus, stronger presence, and deeper resilience. Professionals don't wait until burnout forces change. They build strength before it's demanded. And when life applies pressure, as it always does, they don't break, they rise. Most people avoid the hardest task of the day not because they can't do it, but because it forces them to confront who they really are. That one task, the call, the decision, the uncomfortable conversation, the demanding project, carries weight. It demands courage, it demands clarity, it demands accountability. Professionals understand this, and that's exactly why they go after it first. They don't wait for confidence to magically appear. They don't hope fear will disappear. They move while resistance is still half asleep. Because the truth is, the longer you wait, the louder your excuses become. When you delay the hard thing, it grows in your mind. When you attack it early, it shrinks in reality. The early hours of the day are a psychological advantage. Your willpower is strongest, your mind cleaner. Your energy hasn't been drained by distractions, opinions, and noise. Professionals know this and use it strategically. They don't waste their best mental hours on low-impact tasks that feel productive but change nothing. They reserve that prime time for the work that actually moves the needle. This is not about working harder, it's about working honestly. Anyone can stay busy. Very few people are willing to face the task that exposes their limits. Professionals don't hide from that exposure. They understand that growth lives on the other side of discomfort, and discomfort doesn't wait politely. It must be confronted. There is a powerful shift that happens when you do the hardest thing first. Momentum becomes automatic. Once you've handled the task you were most tempted to avoid, everything else feels lighter. The emails don't intimidate you. The meetings don't drain you. The small problems don't irritate you. Why? Because you've already proven to yourself that you can handle pressure. Confidence is not built by easy wins. It's built by keeping promises to yourself under stress. Professionals stack those promises early. They don't let the day slowly wear them down before asking for their best effort. They give their best effort first, and the rest of the day follows their lead. Avoidance is expensive. It costs mental energy, emotional peace, and self-respect. When you put off the hardest task, it follows you all day like a shadow. You think about it while doing other work. You feel guilty while pretending to be productive. That internal tension drains more energy than the task itself ever would. Professionals refuse to pay that price. They understand that clarity is fuel. When the hardest task is done, the mind is free. Focus improves. Creativity opens up. You're no longer negotiating with yourself. You're executing. that freedom is not accidental, it's earned through decisive action. There is also a deeper identity shift tied to this habit. When you repeatedly choose the hard task first, you stop seeing yourself as someone who avoids discomfort. You begin to see yourself as someone who handles responsibility. That identity compounds. Over time, fear loses its authority because you've trained yourself to move despite it. Professionals are not fearless, they are decisive. They don't wait for emotional permission to act. They act and their emotions catch up later. This is how leaders are built, not in moments of comfort, but in daily decisions to face what matters most. The world quietly rewards people who do hard things early. Opportunities come faster, trust builds quicker. Stress becomes manageable instead of overwhelming, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Professionals understand that discipline in the morning prevents chaos later. They don't allow the day to stack pressure on top of pressure. They relieve it at the source by confronting the biggest challenge head-on. This habit creates a reputation, not just with others, but with yourself. You become someone who can be relied on, and that reputation is priceless. So remember this, if you want to feel powerful throughout the day, earn it early. Do not negotiate with discomfort. Do not postpone responsibility. Attack the hardest task before the day attacks you. When you lead with courage, momentum follows. When momentum follows, confidence grows. And when confidence grows, there is no version of pressure that can break you. Focus is the rarest currency in the modern world. And professionals understand that before they understand almost anything else. You are living in an age designed to fracture your attention. Notifications, opinions, headlines, messages, every single one fighting to pull you out of the work that actually matters. And most people surrender without realizing it. They confuse being busy with being effective. They confuse movement with progress. Professionals don't make that mistake. They know that focus is not about doing more things, it's about doing the right things without interruption. That means they make a conscious, daily decision to guard their attention like it's their most valuable asset. Because it is. If you lose your focus, you don't just lose time. You lose momentum, clarity, and ultimately, your edge. Protecting your focus requires honesty. You have to admit that distraction feels good in the short term. It gives you relief from pressure, from uncertainty, from the discomfort of hard work. But professionals are not addicted to comfort. They are committed to results. They understand that the most important work really feels urgent, and the most urgent things really matter long term. That's why they don't let emails, messages, or other people's priorities dictate their day. They decide in advance what deserves their best energy and when. Focus doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you deliberately eliminate what doesn't serve your mission. Every distraction you remove is a declaration that your goals matter more than momentary stimulation. Deep focus is uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it separates leaders from followers. When you sit with one task, one goal, one challenge, your mind will look for escape. It will suggest checking your phone, switching tasks, or postponing the work altogether. Professionals recognize that voice. They don't argue with it. They don't entertain it. They outwork it. They train their mind to stay where their body is. That's how mastery is built. Not through talent alone, but through sustained attention over time. Anyone can start something. Very few people can stay with it long enough to become great. Focus is the bridge between intention and excellence. There is a confidence that comes from knowing you can concentrate deeply. It changes how you approach problems. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you feel capable. Instead of panicking under pressure, you slow down and think. Professionals don't rush decisions just to feel productive. They take the time to analyze, plan, and execute with precision. That level of clarity doesn't come from multitasking, it comes from immersion. When you protect your focus, you give yourself the mental space to think strategically, not just react tactically. And in a competitive world, strategic thinkers always rise faster than reactive ones. Protecting your focus also means protecting your boundaries. Professionals are not endlessly available. They don't apologize for needing uninterrupted time. They understand that saying yes to everything is the fastest way to fail at what matters most. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They allow the right things in and keep the wrong things out. When you guard your focus, you teach people how to treat your time. You signal that your work has weight, that your goals are real, that your attention is not cheap. And when you treat your focus with respect, others eventually do too. Over time, disciplined focus reshapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles to concentrate and start seeing yourself as someone who finishes what they start. That shift is powerful. It builds trust with yourself and with others. People rely on you because you deliver. You deliver because you're not scattered, you're present, you're intentional. And that presence shows in your work, your communication, and your results. Focus doesn't just improve productivity, it elevates your entire professional presence. It turns effort into impact and potential into performance. Here's the truth you need to carry with you. The world will always try to steal your attention, but it can only take what you're willing to give. When you protect your focus, you protect your future. Great lives are not built by people who are always available. They are built by people who are deeply committed. Decide what deserves your attention, give it everything you have, and refuse to be distracted by anything that doesn't move you forward. That is how professionals separate themselves from the rest, and that is how you win. Most people underestimate the quiet danger of mental stagnation. They think staying the same is safe. They think if they're not moving backward, they're fine. But professionals understand a hard truth. If you are not sharpening your mind daily, you are dulling it. The world is moving too fast for yesterday's thinking. New technology, new competition, new standards. Everything is evolving, and the only way to stay relevant is to grow on purpose. Professionals do not rely on what they already know. They respect knowledge, but they are never loyal to ignorance. They wake up every day knowing that their mind is either expanding or shrinking, and they refuse to let it shrink. Sharpening your mind is not about collecting random information or sounding intelligent in conversation. It's about upgrading how you think, decide, and execute. Professionals read with intention. They listen with focus. They study with hunger. Not to impress others, but to improve themselves. They understand that the quality of their thoughts determines the quality of their actions, and the quality of their actions determines the quality of their life. When you feed your mind daily, you begin to see patterns others miss. You anticipate problems instead of reacting to them. You make decisions faster, cleaner, and with more confidence because your mental toolbox is full. Amateurs wait until they feel inspired to learn. Professionals make learning non-negotiable. They don't say, "I'll read when things slow down," because they know things never slow down. They don't say, "I'll grow when I have more time," because time is never given, it's taken. Growth happens in small, disciplined doses, 10 pages a day. One chapter, one lesson, one insight applied immediately. That's how mastery is built. Daily learning compounds quietly, and one day you wake up realizing you're operating on a level that once felt unreachable. There is also a deeper reason professionals sharpen their minds daily: control. A trained mind is harder to manipulate, harder to intimidate, harder to break. When you invest in your thinking, you stop outsourcing your opinions to the loudest voice in the room. You evaluate instead of absorb. You question instead of follow. You lead instead of imitate. Knowledge gives you options, and options give you power. Professionals don't want to be trapped by limited thinking or outdated beliefs. They want freedom, the freedom to pivot, adapt, and dominate in any environment. Daily mental growth also builds humility, and humility keeps you dangerous. Professionals know that the moment you think you know enough, you've already started losing. Learning reminds you that there's always another level, another perspective, another skill to master. That humility doesn't weaken you, it sharpens you. It keeps you curious instead of complacent, hungry instead of comfortable. When you sharpen your mind daily, you stay teachable. And teachable people outperform talented people who stop growing every single time. Over time, this habit changes how people experience you. Your words carry weight. Your ideas have structure. Your presence feels grounded. People listen differently when you speak because you speak from understanding, not noise. That doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of daily investment in your mind when nobody was watching. Professionals don't chase influence. They earn it through preparation. And preparation lives in what you read, what you study, what you think about when no one is clapping. So let this be clear. Your mind is your most valuable asset, and neglecting it is the most expensive mistake you can make. Feed it daily, challenge it daily, expand it daily. Because when your mind grows, your standards rise. When your standards rise, your actions change. And when your actions change consistently, your entire life follows. Stay sharp or get left behind.